Welcome to D&D with THC, Lost Minds of Phandelver, episode 22. Been a couple weeks. DM's been unavailable. We had some stuff going on, but we're back, and we're here to find out if we're going to die from the demons that we now have put inside of a zombie that Dab had raised. But I'll hand things over to Jared, and he'll explain things further. Take it away, Jared.
All right. So the last time we left off, you two were in a bad way, fighting for your life to try and pull a couple of nasty demons out from your friend's souls. Ganja and Pino both lying on beds, not exactly doing well, trying to fight those demons internally, but just not really getting winning the fight. Ultimately, it was decided that the demons would get exorcised into a vessel, a zombie that Dab had raised. Upon the transfer of the actual demons, the zombie opened his eyes sort of glowed a bright red, and then basically went to almost like liquided down to almost a jet black, at which point your all of you hear a resounding low growl announcing the return of the demon prince of the undead Orcus. So where you stand right now is you have a zombie that is currently starting to, you can see he's almost starting to rip, like the skin around his arms is starting to rip. And so to move forward, I'll set the scene for you. As you guys stand there and you sort of stare at this zombie, it's starting to sort of almost, it looks like he's imploding. You can see there's fissures starting to crack inside of his body, red showing in from behind it. You hear a low like growl. As you look around, a lot of the bookcases that are around you start to like wither. They start to almost like dry out and start to crumble away. You see the priest Volman sort of start to back up, and just he begins to try and run away. At which point you see the zombie as he starts to grow in size. The zombie whispers under his breath some type of word, and you see as Volman starts to run away, he just basically collapses into a pool of blood. And essentially he gets liquefied. So I mean, as he runs, he just becomes a pool of blood and sloughs off into the ground. The zombie starts to grow, and out of his back you start to see these massive set of wings, scaly wings, sort of fly out from the rear of the zombie. You hear the voice,
I have been freed.
Do I recognize that voice? Is that
what's that?
Is that the sword voice?
Definitely not the sword voice. No.
Okay.
No. That is a far more terrifying voice than you've heard in your life.
Okay, so Gideon is standing in his room, sort of shocked by these fucking developments, of course. Okay, so the priests are basically all dead now, right?
The two priests had already ran. The two helpers had ran right out. The one priest that was helping you, that had actually completed the exorcism, tried to attempt to run away and basically got liquefied.
Okay, Gideon's gonna step forward and say, "Indeed, mate, you are now free. Aren't you grateful to our efforts?"
It just sort of, as this, I mean, basically the entire the entire church is starting to shake around you. You can see your chandeliers starting to break into the main area. You can hear, you're starting to hear screaming, because you've got a couple windows in this room. You're starting to hear screaming coming from outside those windows. You notice that the windows start to get very dark. He just sort of turns, and it's almost like he completely ignores what you're saying. He just begins to continue to grow into this completely massive red being.
Okay, so as he's growing, I'm gonna go over to the table. Hey, wake up, man! It's time to go. You two cause us all types of trouble. I'm shaking these motherfuckers. Let's get the fuck out of here, man.
So you run over to Pino and to somebody else probably runs over to Ganja, started to slap them awake. Ganja and Pino, you managed to sort of wake up out of your slumber. You are drained. You're physically and mentally drained at this point. You feel like you've just gone 10 rounds, but you come up fully coherent. You have pieces of memory of how you got to where you are, but you awake and you open your eyes up to basically the room starting to collapse around you, and this massive, winged horned demon that stands like starting to break through the room that's you're standing at the moment.
I slip him into a fireman's carry. We don't really have time to hang around. Are you fools waiting for an engraved invitation? Let's get the fuck out of here.
I can move, and I haul myself off, and I start following.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
I'm going to turn myself into a horse and start running with him.
Oh shit. Okay, so Ben, I'm gonna let him get off my shoulders and do his horse thing.
Dab, you're currently in the
I'm
corner.
doing it from the
one's
shoulder.
coming to- yeah, Dab's in the
Why
corner.
would you do
currently,
that?
no
Now you're
one's-
gonna trample me.
And I would, Dad would move closer towards the demon, kneel down in front of him, and say, "I am at your service, my liege."
I look back and my jaw drops and this motherfucker paying his fucking respect.
The horse Pino is just going to run over to Dab and see if he jumps on.
He is not.
And he's gonna trample
Dab's
Dab.
gonna- He's gonna trample Dab. All right. I guess this is gonna be dexterity check for Dab. I mean, he's gonna want to come over and try and at least stomp on you a couple times. Go ahead and make a
It's on the way
dexterity
out.
saving.
And the demon's not going to do anything to try to protect the guy that's just fucking...
Not again. So you sort of bend down. Let's remember matters of scale here, Dab. You are a maybe 3-foot gnome. This thing now stands easily 20 feet in the air. You've put yourself down, and this is happening in a matter of a few minutes. That demon's not even paying attention to what you just said to it. So,
Dab, you're going to die here, Dab. You're going to die. I don't give a shit whether you worship this giant demon or not. If you do it from inside this church, you're gonna die. With that, I make my leave.
so are we still trying to trample Dab at this point?
Well, if he doesn't jump on, I'm not going to try to run around him. I will run through him to leave.
And if the demon's not going to have any fucking interaction with me at all, he can fucking suck his mother, and I'm on my way out.
All right, so you guys, as this demon starts to grow, the wings start to come out. You see a massive staff sort of form in this demon's hand. It sits a little bit, when in matters of scale, it sits a little bit less than what a staff would normally be. It's got a massive head on the top of it. You see him just sort of waving it around in the air. All of you make your way out in various ways out into the main area. You see all of the effigies starting to fall down. You see the massive statue of Tyr with the balancing scales just start to crumble and then ooze black ichor out of it as you run out. When you run towards the doors, you sort of go to push the doors open and they collapse, almost as if they've been burned up. They are ash at this point. You walk out into the square, which used to be this sunny and happy area full of bustling individuals. At this point in time, you look forward and you see that there's starting to be darkness that's starting to fall upon the entire area as far as the eye can see. You look over at trees. Trees are starting to shrivel and actually tip over and break at the trunk as if they were snapping branches. You look in the cemetery off to the side of the actual church, which most churches are accompanied by, and the cemetery is getting a gloomy blackened aura over top of it. You start to see hands reaching up from below the ground, reaching over to the above the gravestones and starting to see bodies pull themselves up. You see people, the normal people dressed in the garb that you would have seen. They're starting to almost age instantly. You see them start to wrinkle, and all of a sudden they start to shrivel and fall to the ground, only to get back up again and make their way towards the church.
Well, that's horribly, mate. Not something I really want to encounter or explore further, but it's definitely something to see. Now, I'm out of here, mates. We can remain together. No, and you plan to stick around for any reason.
I do
I'm
not.
gone.
The horse Pino looks pretty fucking skittish and ready to run, so.
Well, you there, my equine friend. Shall we escape together?
Gandra's gonna go over to Pino and kind of like nod at him and like start to climb on top, see if he can climb on his back.
Yeah, I'm not. Somebody can jump on.
Gandra jumps up because he's hurting pretty bad.
See, this is the problem with having manners. I asked if I could get on. He just gets on the goddamn.
You're asking a horse. What do you want me to do? Fucking whinny?
Well, fuck you, Mr. Ed.
I stamp my feet. How big? He ain't that big. Jump on.
So
I've
you're
ridden
keeping the
horses
manner
before,
of-
but never a friend that has turned into a horse. It was,
Yeah,
it was
in terms
different.
of a
Normally
manner
I just
of,
go on a horse.
The bard was relatively healthy and relatively quick. At this point in time, Ganja and Gideon hop onto Pino's back. I assume at this point that Gideon has all but scooped up the gnome and held him as a football to try and make sure that he gets away safely. The horse takes off, unfortunately leaving the bard pretty well in his dust, not too far behind. The Richter's trying to get his best to keep up. As you look back, this darkness starts to fall upon that particular area. All of the other churches, you see the patrons start to run out into the streets and immediately start to shrivel as they make their way into the square.
Gotta tell you, that does not look good, man.
Fuck that place up.
No, I did nothing of the sort.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of looking at the horse that I'm currently on top of right now.
So you,
hear that special French term, we, but not me.
where are you guys headed? Are you headed back to the wagon?
Yeah. Regroup at
I
the
gotta
wagon.
tell you, it's something that we unleash levels of epic evil that we did in such a manner. Perhaps they might consider us to blame for this. I don't like that idea at all, so perhaps
Well,
this town,
fucking
or this
horse.
area at least. Should we report this to someone, perhaps?
the
I mean,
horse
you're
shakes
gonna
his head
see it.
back and forth.
It's not like it's it's a
I'm awfully
spectacle.
been talented early.
As you guys are riding your way out towards back towards the inn that you were in, you can see the guard, the massive droves of guards that were dressed in the wear that you guys saw in the Hall of Justice start running the other way, making their way towards the actual church area. You started to outrun the sort of darkness falling upon the city. You can see that at the very least, the darkness is getting to be a little bit more localized rather than spreading out much further. But what's happening now is it's actually starting to cause almost like a little bit of a darkness effect. So as you start to see people running towards it, they almost disappear into almost complete blackness as they make their way towards the church. What you are hearing though is as you hear people, as you see a lot of the guards making their way in towards that darkness, you just start to hear crunching of bones. You start to hear the falling of blood across cement floor, and you're starting to hear almost like the shriveling of skin, and it's audible. That's just it's that almost that gross sound that you're hearing consistently while running away from that area. You make your way out towards. By the time you make your way out towards the inn, you've gotten to a spot where at least it's starting to get a little bit more light. And need I remind you, it is probably midday right now, but there's a pretty good overcast in the sky at this point in time. It almost looks like a thunderstorm. And as you make your way and you view over to the south, across the river, you just see this dark pillar of where you would generally have located the churches in that area. So you make your way back. The wagon that you left out front, still sitting there. You see a bunch of blankets sitting on top, and a decently dressed gentleman lying on top of your cart, sort of just puffing away on a pipe that was provided to him. And you see the owner, Sybil, sort of standing outside, turning to you and goes, "I can only imagine this was your doing."
It was our doing.
We've met before, haven't we?
Indeed, but it does not make us the cause of this trouble.
Well, I can't imagine that this beautiful city that we've had before, that's never had a particular issue like this, you strangers seem to wander into town and cause trouble.
Remember
City,
one time
you-
weren't you the subject of a siege in a great
Yeah, we're
Place.
trying to save the city from all the orcs and shit like that.
And how's that fucking going?
place? I don't think we should stay.
I think it's a good idea, for your sake and the town's sake, that you folk get the fuck out of here. I can find you a safe passage up to Thunder Tree, but I think you're going to need to make sure you're a little bit more battle hardened before you come back.
I'm gonna back my horse ass up to the cart.
And I'm gonna
Idiot.
tie up.
We already have a horse too, right?
Yeah, you basically had an ox that was still standing in front of your cart.
Okay, so then no, I don't. Yeah, I don't need to do that. Then I do not need to do that.
Okay, so I get off and we start positioning ourselves on the cart. I'm assuming so we get the fuck out of here.
I'm
objections,
yeah,
so.
I gotta drop out of my animal form, jump on the cart, and say that's probably the best idea. Let's fucking
At
go.
which point you
Okay,
guys
so there
turn.
was a guy on top of our cart smoking. I thought that was a zombie.
So the gentleman on top, Halflar, turns to you and goes, "Rose, what is going on
Halflar is
over there?
alive? I forgot that Halflar was alive. How did he become alive?
He didn't become alive. He's been hanging out on top of the cart as instructed this entire time."
Oh, so the zombie that at the church wasn't Halflar.
No, that was just a zombie that
I raised him at the
Dad
church.
raised.
Oh, okay.
No, Halflar's been chilling. He goes, "Dude, guys, it looks like it's gonna storm over there. Best be getting
Yeah.
going, right?"
Indeed, Halflar. We shall escape this place. We shall. Well,
All right,
goodbye,
man.
Neverwinter. Winter never comes, but unfortunate situation seems to follow.
So you guys make your way onto the road. Sybil sort of leads you out to the back and goes, it'll be a little bit harder to get around, but you're going to have to make your way north and then make your way east over to Thunder Tree. Not going to be a nice trek, but a hell of a lot better than trying to go right through the middle of the city.
I agree.
Hopefully you fuckers can come back and fix what you've done.
We didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about, miss.
And she just gives you a scold.
I'd appreciate if you did not spread that slander amongst anyone in town either, miss.
Nobody gives a shit who you are anyways.
As we roll away, we're the guys who destroy Neverwinter.
At which point, Sybil almost, as you guys leave, so you can see there's a slight glint of adornment and worry in Sybil's face. Both going to miss you, but also realizing that the town that you've left her in is probably about to be disintegrated. So you guys make your way north. So if I can bring us back to the larger map, the Sword Coast map that you guys received, you guys are now going to make your way north of Neverwinter and head yourself over to Thunder Tree, I'm assuming. Neverwinter, basically. Looking back, you see very cloudy skies surrounding Neverwinter. You're starting to see a swirling lightning ball of weather system starting to come in from the coast as well. But when you look specifically towards Neverwinter, there's still that very distinct column of darkness that sits directly in that area. You guys ride away from Neverwinter, having full knowledge of what has happened, and I assume that hopefully you'll one day return and deal with the chaos that you have wrought.
Don't hold your breath, mate.
So, can I attempt to take a short rest while riding on this
seems to
cart?
be the work of heroes, mate, and those are not us.
So Thunder Tree is still probably a good 25 a day's ride away. You guys left in the middle of the day, so you're going to get about halfway there and probably have to make camp regardless. So as you guys are riding along, most of you managed to at least get a short rest in case there's anything that happens along the trail.
I'm gonna roll hit dice then, just in case. What are we, level 4?
You are level 4.
Down 20. You know what? I'm just gonna roll them all because we're probably gonna get a long rest in eventually. Paladin on the D10. Maybe I'll just roll 3 then. Plus Constitution, right? When you roll hit die.
Yep.
For each one. So
Yep.
3d10 plus 6. 16 plus
So,
6, 22. I'm at full.
I'm gonna
rolled a
roll
6. 6 plus your con mod, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna roll a d6 here.
Cool.
This is how I'm gonna do this. This is just what's gonna happen. Rolling the dice. And waiting. Come on now.
Are we supposed to be on the map screen? Because I'm still in the church.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
All right, I will take you out to the map screen then.
Thank you, sir.
Man, they updated
Thank
Roll20 finally, where the maps, the pages along the top, you can scroll through them up and down now. It's glorious.
Nice.
I've been waiting for that.
So Al, I need you to roll a D100.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
So you guys probably make your way back towards or over the way east towards Thunder Tree. You stop for the night. You make camp. Begin your discussions. Anything happening around the fire, or are we going to talk about the elephant in the room? It's up to you.
I don't think
What
it
the
was an
fuck did you
elephant in
guys
the room.
do?
I'm pretty sure all of us know what happened, right? We went there to do an exorcism. We put the demon, whatever the fuck was in them, into that zombie. And the zombie turned into some shit we didn't expect. We all escaped. It is what it is. No use.
Oh man, I
telling on
love how
shit.
nonchalant a group of adventurers can be from summoning a demon lord.
I feel
It'd be different
terrible.
if we
I barely
planned
know
for
what
that,
happened.
But being that was like a bad side effect, I'm glad we got away from it.
I'm not gonna lie, you're not wrong.
I'm
Right.
so glad we were able to just run away from it. I thought we would have to fight it, and that made me really antsy.
Sometimes it's better to live another day.
We fucked
Every
that
time
place
it's
up.
better to live another day, mate. Every time it's better.
Sybil said,
Honor's beautiful until you're alive.
Rector, good little town, perfect little town. Like, it had its own problems, and I
I'm not
mean,
gonna
I'm
make
looking
those
at
kind of
Pino
excuses.
as I say
We
these
did
next
what the
couple
fuck
words.
happened
Like,
there,
we
but
fucked that
also
city up.
We didn't get caught. Excuses
You
are
guys-
the key to incompetence, mate.
Should
Don't
have
mind
flipped
me
her a couple of gold to keep her mouth shut. She was the only one that seemed to know what was going on with us.
I don't think we need to slip or anything. I think she's more on our side than we thought she would be.
She told us to get the fuck out, and
She's a little rough around the
Yeah,
edges,
yeah.
that's true, but she's nice enough.
Well, mate, as
I
long as
don't
she
know if
doesn't turn
nice
us
is
over
the
to the
word, but-
authorities, I'm good with it.
Nice.
I
is
thought perhaps
definitely
we had a chance to come back and save the town, perhaps, but looks like that's a day for another.
Yeah,
So-
and we'll go back and fix our blunder.
Make no
Monday.
such promises, mate. I didn't summon a demon lord, so why should I be responsible for cleaning up after one?
Way I see it was all that fucking priest's fault.
The way I see it, mate, you were willing to stay there and join in the corruption.
No, that never happened.
The way I see it is you were about to get left behind.
No, that literally never happened.
You were about to get left behind. You made me second guess
Mate,
you on the
the
horse.
only reason you're here with us is because you were spurned.
No. What I'm saying is, if he was not making any knowledge of anybody in the
still said
room, it would have never happened.
It happened in front of us. I
You
saw
would've-
it.
You would have had to say it to even know that if anything was going to be acknowledged.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he
bro.
didn't acknowledge Gideon, and he didn't acknowledge anybody else. So
Yeah,
if he
but that
wasn't
doesn't mean it
acknowledging,
didn't happen, mate.
That doesn't mean you didn't say it.
should have just let me.
Anyways,
fucking
you
say
guys
that.
make your way
Yo,
into
he really
bed.
tried to Jedi mind trick us just now.
That didn't happen.
Not the demon lord you're looking
Just
for.
now.
I don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're saying. So
Fake news.
everybody is gonna make their way to bed. Anybody staying up? You're in a relatively harmless area. I mean,
mean-
you're in the middle of the woods, but
3 of us are elves, and
Make Rufus take
we only
watch.
need 4 hours rest. So I think
I'm
between the
gonna
3
pass
of us,
around my alchemy jug. It has strong meat in it.
yeah, Hellflower basically turns to you and goes, "I'll be honest, dude. I don't sleep after coming back from the undead and all. So I don't mind sitting up here and watching stuff."
All right, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I'll
pass
take
the
a
jug
rest
around
for
so
sure,
everybody can
but-
get some of this strong ass beer.
Yeah, I'm taking a drink
Yeah.
and trancing out.
yep. I'll drink
I
my
need,
share as well, and Trent's out as well.
So while everyone's trancing out, I need everybody to make. So Dab, I need you to make 2, one for Hellflar and one for yourself. I need everybody to make a perception check.
What am I rolling him as?
Just as regular zombie.
24.
Woohoo,
16.
Kino picking it up.
Damn, you're perceptive.
Double nat 20s there. You see that?
Damn.
That's me.
Okay, well. Oh,
I mean,
twice.
we
Good
would be
God.
pretty aware after summoning the demon prince of the
Just
undead.
fucking fired up. Damn, Richter even. Holy shit,
Yeah,
yo.
I'm the lowest at 16. That's wild.
Well, I don't know.
Everybody
I
else
know.
is-
Dab still hasn't rolled for Hellflar yet.
Oh, that's true.
Watch Hellflar gets nat 22. Just fucking owns it.
Really need the Half-Large is
What's,
the most important because he's on watch.
What's how do I roll his perception?
Do you not have access to the zombie?
Just add his wisdom to it. D20
Yeah.
plus wisdom.
But if you open the zombie, like the actual zombie card, Jeff, you should be able to roll right from it. And
No, it just gives me
perception, I believe, is dexterity.
Okay.
Perception, it's wisdom.
Is it wisdom? My apologies.
Yeah.
Sorry, roll is wisdom. Oh, not bad either. So all of you, you're pretty well sound asleep. It's probably not quite midnight. It's getting very close to it, though. You start to hear some jingling in each one of your like your purses or your sacks that you have sort of sitting beside you. All of you sort of simultaneously start to hear like jingling of coins in your sacks.
I stick my hand in.
As you stick your hand in, basically a tiny little, almost like a wooden, it looks like a tiny Groot, essentially, is inside. It bites your finger, and you take 1d4 damage.
There's a monster in my sack.
Instantly trying to squish it.
Damn, you
Yeah,
took
you
four,
take-
punch
man.
the
That
fucking
is-
thing.
Yeah, you take 4 points of piercing damage as this thing just
Ow.
sort of chomps down on your hand. You start to beat your sack. The tiny thing just turns into a pile of sticks inside of your sack. All of you are starting to see like bouncing and panic starting to happen within your sacks as you each individually go after them. And again, a tiny creature inside is starting to panic as it's
Can I
been
just crush
trying.
it in the sack?
Yeah. So how do you want to do that?
I just want to pretty much like I'd get a mosquito in the air. Once it starts shaking, I just want to crush it flat.
All right. So you all reach out into your sacks. This thing going wild inside
I
of
don't
it.
reach into my sack. I pick my sack up and beat it on the ground.
Yeah, so all of you start to, in some way or another, without reaching your hand physically inside, you start to beat the crap out of the sacks and make them fall down or make them die. All of a sudden, all of the movement inside stops. Given your perception, you guys all look out into the woodland area, and you start to see, I would say,
Can I
easily
try and
200
catch
eyes.
mine? Can I
Will you
try and catch mine?
yours? Yeah, make a dexterity, and make a dexterity roll.
What did you say we saw in the bushes?
We'll see what happens after he catches this. You fail miserably, and it manages to run out with one of your coins.
No, bugger.
So it's
I'll let
you
it
see
run
this
off
thing
with
sort
the
of
coin.
as you try and catch it, it sort of runs across your arm and then darts and very quickly darts back into the wooded area around you with one of your gold coins.
I'll let it go.
As you
I'm gonna
guys
shoot at it.
also what?
I'm gonna shoot at it.
Okay,
Do I
go
have enough
for it.
time to
You
react?
that'll be a very quick reaction. Make a short bow attack with disadvantage.
So,
That is not gonna hit.
Does a 14 hit?
Nope.
Damn.
Yeah, so you let one fly, the bow or the arrow just sort of pegs into the ground. This thing sort of sidesteps it and runs in. As you guys look up, given your perception, you look up and you see probably 200 to 250 tiny eyes just surrounding you, looking at you right now. You see them sort of start to get as soon as the one runs in, you start to hear a bunch of rustling, and then the eyes just sort of disappear.
Right after I finish beating my bag on the ground, I reach into my bag and take out the torches.
Okay. So you pull out the torches. You don't see anything in the woods.
Well, I wasn't trying to. I was gonna hand them out.
Okay. Go ahead and
I
hand
actually
them out.
only have one, but I'm hoping everybody else has one too. And I
I
light
gotta
my
check.
torch in the fire.
I should
I
have
have
a
one.
torch.
Mate, I don't know what those things are, but they look like wood, and wood does not like fire.
Yeah, I have 10 torches. So yeah, I'll pull out
damn.
one of mine.
Oh, I do too. I got 10. Damn, I didn't realize that. Yeah, I take out 2 or 3 of them. I'm lighting them and hand them around.
All right, and so that will probably conclude your evening. So the rest of the evening is sort of spent getting sleep, probably in shifts, keeping an eye out for these things that come back. How far, actually, at the end of this entire skirmish, leans over the top and it's like, guys, man, what was all the noise about?
Six
Fucking
bugs.
Hey,
pests.
you were supposed to be the one on watch.
Hey, man, you're not hurt, right?
I'm kind of hurt. My
What?
finger is a little rough.
Dab, I need you to make. So it's nearing around the end of midnight at this point. Dab, I need you to roll a d20 here.
I have to look and then I give him the cross the throat action.
Okay. So as you guys make the rest of the night, probably sleeping in shifts, keeping an eye out for things, you wake up in the morning. Halflar still leaned back, probably smoking his morning puff of his Mary Jade's fern that he's managed to grab from the surrounding areas. What you do see, though, is when you come back, there is a large pile. So first of all, throughout the night, those who were on watch or those you were sleeping would have heard a little bit of commotion coming from the trailer or from the wagon. You understood that Halflar just basically got down at one point throughout the night, and he ran off into the forest for a little while, telling you had to pee. He came back, and so when you guys all wake up in the morning, there's a sizable, probably pound to 2 pounds worth of picked and primed and very well prepared Mary Jade's ferns sitting in a large pile directly in front of your wagon, and Halflar is sitting on top currently smoking a little bit out of his pipe.
It's dry enough to smoke already?
Absolutely.
I'll
Partake.
well, if there's a pound, I mean, I'm gonna grab an ounce. I'll just grab a big big handful, one big handful. Like,
Mm-hmm.
thanks,
He
dude.
turns to you and goes, "You know what, man? I may not have been much in life, but goddamn was I a good fucking horticulturist."
Hey, right on, buddy. And
Interesting.
I'm gonna pull my my pipe off of my neck, and it hangs there, and I'm pull it out from underneath my my armor, and I'll pack a bowl, and I think I have a tinder box. Pretty sure I do, or I'll just grab, stick and stick it in the fire and smoke away on it.
All right.
Hmm.
So, what is happening this morning?
Well,
What's the plan of each?
Start the morning off with a stiff mug of grog.
Smart. Are you still pulling out of the barrel that's sitting on the back of Halflar?
I haven't drank out of that barrel since
God,
the first time.
So you're just having it from your own stores?
Yeah, I only been drinking from my source. I haven't drank out of that barrel one time in my life. I will never do that shit again. Not unless I'm in the safety of my own home, because that shit is great. It's just not for the streets
Nope.
Streets.
or the woods.
or the wood or the wilderness.
We're still going to Thunder Tree. We didn't. The plan was to stop in Neverwinter and get supplies, but we didn't do a lot of that. We got a little bit of that going, but we kind of
We
took
have
a
enough
left turn on
supplies
that
to
one.
make where we need to go, mate.
I say we don't turn back. We might not have any healing potions at all this, but oh wait, yes you do. You got one.
I
We
actually
might not have got supplies, but
I might could make those in my jug. Let me check that real quick.
No, that's a bacon
Heal
thing.
potions? Oh, heck no. That'd be an OP jug if I ever saw one. Nobody really knows what your jug is still. That's the other thing.
I always move with a lot of liquor, so they don't need to know what my jug is.
Don't worry about it. So you guys make your way into. You're making your way down a pretty rough path near the place where the Neverwinter River emerges from the wood. You see an abandoned village. It once was a prosperous community on the outskirts of the forest, wealthy, had woodcutters and trappers and so on. When the eruption of Mount Hodenau happened, it devastated Thunder Tree. And in the wake of that, plague of zombies and undead have sort of started to cover the area, and other unkind fiends have started to pop up as well. Most of the zombies have actually crumbled to dust, but as you guys make your way closer to Thunder Tree, you start to notice a strange magic permeating from the area. And you're actually looking around, and you're starting to notice that a lot of the vegetation has started to mutate. And you're noticing newer vegetation. Halflar sort of pops up from the top and goes, "Man, we need to be careful here. There are twig blights around. I 100% know."
Is that what those little things that were attacking us last night were?
We're in
Oh, man, you had
Monsanto.
little dudes? Oh, yeah, man. Those are just like those. Those are like twig blight babies, man. Those things come in the hundreds.
Yeah, there was definitely hundreds of them.
So what the fuck's a twig blight?
Basically like a magic tree or like a branch. Pretty easy to kill, man, but in numbers, those things can do damage.
We've already
So, I
talked to
mean-
a couple of magic trees. They didn't seem that bad.
Yeah, these trees don't like to make conversation, though. I'll tell that.
Get your torch ready.
Well, if they're magic, I mean, if they're trees, they burn, right?
You'd think that, and it hurts them a bunch, but they don't exactly light up like a ball of tinder.
So torch really has no effect on them, really.
I look at Dab and they might.
So you guys make your way. So gradually the trail becomes an old, overgrown lane winding between dilapidated buildings, choked in vines and brush. Ahead of
so-
you in the
As we're going, can I keep an eye out for these trees that might look unnatural?
Absolutely. So you guys are starting to see, like I said before, you're starting to see the vegetation start to look abnormal and not right at all. You don't necessarily see any movement, and that's really what you're looking out for. You're on heightened alert just because Halflar has let you know. But as you make your way in, you don't see any specific movement. Ahead of you in the middle of the settlement rises a steep hill, upon which you see a stone tower with partially collapsed roof and an adjoining cottage off to the side. A dirt road hugs the base of the hill and wends its way around old stone houses, many of which have got no roofs. The ruins in the interiors open to the weather. Open buildings appear more or less intact, but the entire place is ridiculously silent. As you make your way up into the hill, and I'll bring you guys into Thunder Tree now. As you make your way up into the hill, you start to, you're coming in from this side over here. From right over here. Oh, I'm not on that layer. There we go. From right over here. As you make your way in, you see a large wooden sign sat right on the side of it. By the way, the stone tower being found over here. You see a large wooden sign that says, "Danger, plant monsters and zombies and ghosts."
Am I the
Turn
only one
back
that doesn't
now.
see anything?
Yeah, it's all black for me.
Oh, so I guess I put thing on. Okay. Let me take that off. Fog of War enabled. And we will zoom out. And we will
So-
take the Fog of War off.
Seeing as we took a long rest, Jared, and I can change my spells out at long rest, I've been looking at this. Can I put in? I'm going to put in the Goodberry spell for one of my spells. Can I have actually casted it in the morning?
I casted Goodberry in the morning. We can assume that you cast it by now at the very least.
And then hand it out a couple of berries to each person. 2 berries.
How many
each.
berries do you actually get with Goodberry?
10.
10? Yeah,
Yeah.
you can hand a few good berries out to each individual.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna hand those out and I say if anybody goes down, or if especially I go down, instead of wasting your potions, just feed me one of these.
Sounds like a plan.
Has that changed over yet, guys?
Yeah, you can see it now.
It's
Oh, okay.
everything's blacked out, so
It's
we can
black
see
and white, but we
everything.
can see it.
yeah, so yeah,
So everything's blacked out, meaning
Like it's
we can see
It's
the
just
entire
no
map,
color.
but
There's
it's
no
got a
color.
shade on it.
there's just no color.
So if you like start revealing areas, we'll be able to see it in color. But right now, it's just a shade over top
okay,
of that.
I'm revealing the entire area. Let me turn off advanced.
Also, what's on the stream isn't what's on my screen.
Yeah, that's the interesting part too. I was noticing
now-
that.
Everything's colored.
Perfect.
There we go.
Yeah, maybe we should reset.
Yeah, but I don't know if you have to refresh, or what,
Refresh?
but
Why?
the stream's not still showing the map.
See the map.
What's that?
I see the map.
Oh, you're not
Wait a
seeing
minute.
Thunder Tree right now?
Jared, did you put all of us on the Thunder Tree or just a couple of us?
Oh, you know what? I wonder if only a few of you. I didn't know that was even a thing. I thought I just
Well,
basically transferred
you-
all the players over to one map.
You used to be able to do it by dragging from the name to a different map, but
Okay, interesting. Okay, so let me just pull. Let me move all of you over then. Yeah, that's interesting. So I'm dragging your characters onto the map. But your characters even are still blurred out.
I can see me.
yeah, I can see us up there.
Now Gideon's there. Now Richter's there. Fino. Dab. So where did we come in?
So you came in on this side. Everybody seeing the map now?
Yep.
You too, Al?
Yeah, I see you.
So you guys make your way into the map. You start to hear, like I said, you hear what seems like a very eerie quiet. You can start to control your own characters. Just be very careful of your movements. This is all going to sort of happen in real time. So if you are going to move into an area, be mindful of it. As you make your way in towards this large area, you start you sort of pass the sign, and you start to hear low, very high-pitched murmurs. So very silent but high-pitched murmurs, sort of in and around this area over here.
Well, why don't we stealth? Why don't we go quiet and see what the fuck's going on here before we make ourselves present, before we make ourselves known?
If you want quiet, and I kind of look at Gideon because we're both wearing heavy armor and we have disadvantage on stealth. I say, why don't we hang back and join if we need to?
Capital idea, mate.
We should send one of the stealthier people up and take a look at first.
Okay, who we sending?
I mean, I'm pretty perceptive, but I wouldn't say I'm the stealthiest. But I'd say either send the bard or send me.
Well, I guess it's you.
I guess it's
Dab,
me.
Dab, I'm assuming you're not volunteering for this job.
No, I'm not. If we were in rocky terrain, I would think about it, but I'm really at no advantage here.
Okay.
I think the
Pino,
bard
you
would
make your
probably
way
be
forward. Go ahead.
I think Richter would be the best option.
To do what?
Go check out what's coming up. Just stealth in and see what the fuck's up there.
I'm not an archer. I'm a bard.
So you might be the quietest of all of us.
For a bard.
Yeah, maybe. All right. I'll move in. Oh my
All
god.
right. So I need so Richter, if you can control your character, or somebody can control Richter's character. Which way do you want to go? Can you guys see the 1, 2, 3 stuff or no? Probably not.
No.
eh?
No.
Okay. Can you tell me if you want to go here, here? Which way are you sort of making your way towards to try and investigate?
Sorry, my internet just went out. And it's not coming back, so I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Fuck.
That's what I'm trying to
All
do
right.
on my ones too.
Somebody make the decision for him then.
It's going towards the noise we heard. We'll say that.
So you make your way down towards this area. I need you to make a, I guess because his internet's out, you can't make rolls, can you?
Can't do anything. No.
Anybody got Richter's sheet, or do we want to send Pino just for?
I can't even get Richter's sheet because the overlay is still the other campaign. His deck was 16 though, I think. So he's got a +3 to stealth.
You can pull up a sheet on Beyond.
Yeah, hold on. I should be able to too.
Sure.
Okay. Richter. Where is he? Stealth. He's got a +4 to stealth.
All right. So D20 +4. All right, 11 stealth. Very nice.
15.
Make a perception
15.
check. Yeah, 15. Make a perception check as well, please.
His perception
I can actually roll his perception over me.
is +7. Yeah, so can I.
So with a 21 perception and a 15 stealth, you make your way towards it, towards this cottage in this area, Richter. You start to see the trees on either side of that cottage. So when you actually come to the structure, it cowers in the shadow of a massive old tree, and it's a crumbled stone cottage, no roof. The entire internal area is basically just overrun with weeds at this point. But as you make your way towards the inside or the entrance of it, the two trees at the front of the actual cottage itself start to shudder, but there's no wind around.
Fucking trees are alive.
You're muted, Lex.
My bad, guys. I was talking. I have to decide which way to go,
Okay.
right?
At this point in time, you've just seen a couple of trees right in the front of this cottage that you're standing in front of. You need to you see the trees start to shudder as if it was windy, but you also notice no breeze.
I would like to shoot an arrow into the window.
Into what window?
You said the windows were
No, the trees.
open. Oh, the
trees.
trees.
Yeah, the trees themselves. So there's two trees and some bushes and weeds that are growing around the front of this cottage. And as you walk towards this sort of opening, you can see straight through into the cottage. There's no roof. You can see the cottage is basically turned into almost fully overgrown weeds. But as you make your way towards the entrance, trees on either side of the actual entrance start to shudder, but there's no wind.
I'm gonna tell my team. I think that there's one of those tree people here.
The blights.
Okay.
Playing some things, mate.
That's what Rufus was telling us to fucking watch out for.
I'll
We can
draw
either-
my sword.
Well, before you do that, we need to try to get around this and see what the fuck. Real quick,
Well,
what
I'm
do we
not
come
gonna
to Thunder
attack
Tree
anything,
looking
I
for
just wanna
again?
be prepared.
Hold on, where's my note? I guess it's worth attacking everything, or fucking we here looking for something, get the fuck out.
I'm not here to. I'm not saying I'm going to attack it, but if something attacks us, I want to be prepared.
Emerald jewels. Well, that
I
makes
mean,
no
we did
sense.
just some. Yeah, let's not talk about that right now.
Fuck, were we coming to Thunder Trees for? Because my notes don't tell me.
So a couple things. One, you were just told that there was a very wise and old druid that lived up there. That somebody recognized the symbol from your family's or from your crest's Pinot, and said that Rydoth up there was somebody that you might want to try and converse with. As well, Myrna, who is the lady that you saved inside of the manor.
Place, yeah.
Said that she would pay you with a necklace, an emerald necklace that was found inside of one of the herbalist shops up there. And then finally, you were told that it was overrun, and that getting that back as a trading post would be the cornerstone to bringing stability back to that region of the Sword Coast.
Okay, so in other words, yes. Let's fucking clear this place out of trees. Let's fucking set it ablaze. Burn this shit down.
Well, green trees don't burn the best, but I mean, it's worth a shot.
Anything burns with a little magic.
Yep.
So everyone has control of their characters. Richter's called you over from in front of that particular cottage.
I'll come over. I mean, obviously, I don't need to be stealthy anymore.
We surprise the fuck out of these trees with a little bit of fire, maybe. Maybe not just walk up with an axe. Let them know what we're doing. Watch these be just normal trees.
So Dab, you make your way, I'm assuming, towards the back of one of these large trees. Gideon, where are you moving to?
I'm like just in the back of the party, or wherever that may be.
Okay. Gideon? We lost him.
Gideon's asleep.
Gideon's asleep. Oh, Gideon's awake. Gideon's awake. Gideon, do you want to move your character so that you can? We're about to get into some interesting combat at this point. So, you guys all make your way sort of slowly down towards it. Richter, you're starting to notice that those trees are starting to shudder more and more and more as the larger group makes their way down towards the area that you're in. You just hear, "Ah!" And then you start to see almost like a stick figure begin to dart its way. Where is that? There it is. You see a stick figure begin to dart its way back towards the. I need to do this. So you see two stick figures basically try and dart their way away from the cottage in opposite directions. So they're beginning to run at this point. So as they run out, you basically see limbs as curled branches making their way, and they're dropping twigs behind them as they run. They seem more full-grown than the other ones that you had found in your bag. These probably stand close to 6 feet tall, and they just book it for the forest in behind here.
Why would they be running? Those are the trees that shuddered, right? The 6-footers?
Yes, those are the 6-foot trees that shudder.
Just making sure. Well, they don't seem as much of a fucking threat.
Yeah, but they could be grabbing more of them. Yeah.
Do we chase?
So if it was right here, where were they when they left? Can I get an attack of opportunity on that one?
They would have, before you got within striking distance of them, they would have tried to bolt. Like, they saw the entire group coming down the pathway and started to bolt. So nobody would have gotten necessarily an attack of opportunity except for Richter. Richter would have been pretty close to in range when both of them left. So you just have to decide who you want to try and volley an arrow to. Richter, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure my internet out. My bad.
Yeah, no worries.
Want to have just a 5-minute break while he figures that out, or what?
Yeah, do you want to take a quick smoke break?
No, I don't think I'm gonna figure it out. I think I'm gonna have to back out.
Hey, no worries. We're just starting into a pretty large combat at this point. I did assume that it would take a little longer to figure out exactly what would happen over in Neverwinter, but luckily that sort of solved itself out. Totally up to you. I noticed that Al's starting to doze off a little bit too. Do you want to jump off for the evening or just for a break?
Yeah,
No,
I'll take just a break for a second.
I still want to go, but it's not obviously like there's obviously
how
other
you
people with.
We
Gideon,
can take
how
a
you
break
feeling?
and discuss this.
Regardless, I was gonna be tired regardless. I'll keep going.
Okay.
I'm gonna do either. So
Yeah, well, let's take a quick 5-minute break at the very least. Gather some refreshments, maybe some caffeine pills, and come on back.
All right, you've been watching D&D with THC. We'll be back in a few minutes after this quick smoke break. Thanks for watching.
motherfucking yawning going on.
Welcome back to D&D with THC. We're having some technical difficulties tonight, so I think we're going to call it here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Jared, for another great session, but we'll have to pick it up again next Monday. We'll be back again next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with a continuation of the Bacon campaign, and back here again on Monday with the conclusion here of the Lost Mines of Phandelver. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.